Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays by Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Do you see this this Twitter post that went pseudo-viral? Not quite viral. Maybe 10,000 likes. It was, what's your stage of chicken wing consumption? D29ARYPC as a polyon, by the way. Oh no. See you later. 2 super envies. I'm seeing double. 4 super envies. Anyway, it was like, what kind? I think this is it's a PSY operation from the CIA to keep everybody angry and thus prevent them from getting angry about real things. That's my ironic opinion, but also, unless it was a picture of 5 different chicken wings of various stages of consumption. It said, which one are you? The rightmost chicken wing was cleaned down to the bone. The bone was polished. Color of porcelain. The one on its left, and we'll continue moving right to left here, had slight bits of meat left on the end cap. The third, aka middle of the spectrum, had the end cap still intact and a little trail leading to the end caps. Number 2 was like 2 bites had been taken out of the middle. Number 1 was literally only 1 bite had been taken out of the meatiest part of the entire wing. Now, everybody listening to this is like, dude, I'm a 4. Dude, I'm a 5. I think all human beings are 4s or 5s. Who is going to order chicken wings and then exclusively eat 1 bite out of each one? I don't believe that those people exist. I just don't. Now, I'm probably a 4, to be honest, but I'll clean that bone if I'm at home. Or if, sometimes I finish eating fast, and then the other people I'm with are like, oh, 1 delicate bite per second. Or per minute, I should say. Then I'll clean the bone just out of boredom. So put me in the 4.5 range. But I disbelieve. So many people in the thread were like, if you go out with me and you eat like 1, we're not going out again. That person, in my opinion, doesn't exist. It reminds me, there was like it's one of my favorite genres of Twitter posts, which is why I'm so familiar with the oeuvre. Go. No, it didn't work. We could actually come close to death on this room, so be cautious. It was like a 2-axis graph of toast. And it said, how do you like your toast? So, one of the axes was, A to H. The other one was 1 to 8. And each axis, I guess, it's not good graph theory, okay? But I believe each axis was, like, toastedness. So, H8 was, like, absolutely burnt to a crisp. And then A1 was, like, it had never been toasted at all. Maybe you walked it by the toaster when you took it out of the bread bag or whatever you had it in. A lot of people were like, if you eat your toast like A1 through 4, you got a problem. Nobody eats their toasts like that. I will say, though, I do like a toast with a little bit of burn on it. And I think, isn't, like, it's carcinogenic, so, I don't do it anymore. We don't really even want to suck that up, honestly. I think I'd rather save the charge. But a little bit of burn, it gives it a nice little bitterness that I actually like. Like a centimeter of burned bread with some melted butter over top of it. For some reason, my brain is like, yeah, that's the stuff. I prefer, I don't want the whole thing to be charred, but I want layers. If I could have mostly a golden brown, but then also just the slightest little bit of char at the edges of the crust, that's the ticket. That's the ticket for me. I have a culinary question, okay? It's an honest one, and it comes from a place of respect and understanding. When I was a child, I did not eat pizza crust. I ate the pizza, but I did not eat the crust. As an adult, I eat the crust all the time. If my wife doesn't eat the crust, I eat her crust. Now, I will say, without a single doubt, the crust, without a dipping sauce at least, is the worst part of the pizza. The pizza benefits from the addition of the sauce and the toppings. Most people would probably agree. But you do realize when you don't... Sorry, it gets me so upset. When you eat the pizza, you're eating the crust in every bite to begin with. You are aware of that, right? It's not like the crust is something they append to the pizza at the end to give it a nice border. You know, it's... Oh, I should have played this one more time for sure, but... The crust is what the pizza base is. So why are you... we went to... This is a 10-month-old story. But we went to, like a game development Vancouver mixer sort of thing in February. And the presenters had picked up a bunch of pizza, which was awesome. But I was also stunned. And to be honest with you, this is my problem. I'm not, you know, you can make the choices you want to make in your life, and if they gross me out, that's okay. You know, I'll live with it. But I was a little grossed out. I would say that out of, like, let's say it's a 10-slice pizza. By the time the pizza was finished, there were 6 crusts per pizza just thrown back into the top side of the box. You know what I mean? Like, the box is open, the pizza's on the bottom side, and then the top side, the lid, basically, is where the rest of the slices were. I was a little grossed out, because first I was like, you should be eating the crust, just to avoid the waste. It's the same material that you've already been consuming. I don't see why you're being a snob about it. Or being weird about it, really. But then I was like, come on, you gotta at least throw it in the garbage or the compost or something. Don't just throw it back in the lid. Like, your mouth has been on that, and now it's like a centimeter away from untouched, unspoiled food. But there were times when I was like, you know, I could probably just grab like a couple of those crusts just as a quick snack. I didn't, but I could have. If you're a picky eater as an adult and you don't eat pizza crust, that's one where I'm like, you know, live your life, but you gotta get over that one. Pizza is a ubiquitous food. I'm not even saying like, oh, dude, I don't even want the shovel, dude. I don't want it. I know we got nothing out of this floor, but I don't want that. I'm not saying, you know, people are gonna make fun of you, because I don't think they will. But, you know, it's just more bread. Like, you hate bread? I'm always... When I see a child that does it, I understand. Because kids are irrational, you know? They are eating the pizza. There's sauce, cheese, pepperoni. Maybe some vegetables, hopefully. Then they take a bite of the crust and they're like, ooh, it's dry. As an adult, I'm like, yo, free bread. So you got different priorities when you're young. As a kid, you're like, this bite isn't as good as the other bite. I don't like it. As an adult, at least for me, I'm like, yo, more food that I can just shove in my face? Beautiful. As an adult, though, do you really, like, it's one of those foods where I'm like, you can't not like it. I'm sorry. It's not that if you really don't like it, I refuse to accept that. It's just that if you've already eaten the pizza, I refuse to accept that you actually don't like the crust. I think instead you've got a little mental barrier there. I'm not saying you're faking it. I'm saying that you have a psychosomatic aversion to crust that makes no sense. You don't have to spend your whole life trying to lead it on a logical level. I can do that myself, or at least attempt to. It's like, bread crust is another one. The crust of bread, it's just cooked bread. You've already been eating it. Like, there's people who won't eat the crust of bread, but they'll eat like a sandwich from Jimmy John's. It's the same food. What are you being weird about? I don't understand it. Okay, maybe sorry. I'm not trying to create any enemies, but I'm trying to. If you're watching this and you're a picky eater to that level, please God, pay out. I've really done my due diligence here. If you're a picky eater to that level, I'm trying to give you the ladder to get out. Okay. Bread crust I'll even allow because it does sometimes taste markedly different from... You know what? Screw this, dude. I'm getting an HP upgrade. It does sometimes taste markedly different from the soft inside of the bread that it came from. I still think you're being a little bit of a baby about it, to be honest, but... Okay, I guess we'll be leaving. We really did our all on that one. I can't be mad. But pizza crust is literally like... You've already eaten a ton of crust with every slice of pizza you're eating. Who do you think you're kidding? It's just surprising to me. That's my bone to pick for today. I guess, you know, I know I talk too much about, you know, the concept of picky eating. But I've been dealing with it because, you know, my dad, he has such an aversion to anything that resembles mayonnaise that actually it's been surprisingly tough. What are you doing? Stop. Well, they left like 2 days ago now, but it's been surprisingly tough to find places where you know, my whole family can eat easily as a result of my dad's aversion to mayonnaise, because they didn't realize even, you know, when I go out to eat. Even if I don't like something, I have like an absurdist philosophy about food. Let me give you an example, okay? My whole philosophy about food is like, what do I know? I went out with my parents. I said, hey, I'll take the Mexican salad with a base of greens and add chicken. She said, Mexican salad, greens, and chicken. All right. Came to my table. It was a Mediterranean salad with quinoa and chicken. No greens. What was my reaction? Bemusement. Not anger, inconvenience, frustration. Literally, I was like, well, you know what? I guess today I'll be trying the Mediterranean salad instead of the Mexican salad. I ate it, and I was like, this is delicious. At no moment was I consumed with the thought that this isn't what I ordered, the restaurant's getting one over on me, this is ridiculous, quinoa are like tiny little spider's eggs popping in my mouth. I recognize I have absurd opinions on food and eating out in particular. The main one being that, and people laugh at me all the time for this, but I'd still do it. I don't look at the menu until they come to take my order most of the time. I mean, I look at it, but I don't actually make a decision on anything. Because I'm like, it's all food. You know, I know myself well enough that I'm going to like whatever I have. Why agonize over, oh, should I have the pappardelle? Or should I have the, you know, pan-seared cod, you know? It's all good. It's not like there's a wrong decision. People, I love food. I eat a lot of it. Too much sometimes. But, you know, I do still see it as a utilitarian thing sometimes as well. Or moreover, I guess I just have kind of the belief that I'm like, you know, let me put it this way. I have the belief that the menu is not a puzzle. That, like, there's a trick question. Like, oh, you're going to order. I mean, there's some obvious stuff. If you're going to, like, Tim's Steakhouse, and it's been around for 100 years, my suggestion would probably be, and I should have sucked it up. My inclination would probably be, hey, you should have something steak-related here. It's called Tim's Steakhouse. It's got good reviews. It's been around for 100 years. But if you're going to, like, Bob's Diner, you know, just go with your heart. You don't need to agonize over the decision. Just follow your dreams, dude. You're gonna be okay. I've hit the point of picky eating where I'm like, I'm the opposite of a picky eater. We do not need speed. We could really use tears. Thank you. And that can be equally frustrating because people are like, what do you want to eat for dinner? And I'm like, it literally does not matter. Even if they bring me what I did not order, I will still eat it and like it. So, to spend time on this mortal coil, agonizing over what to eat for dinner is it's but a modern trifle with no purpose. It's very pretentious. I apologize. I'm not going to peep this curse room right off the bat. We're in just the slightest of slight tricky situations. This would be a great floor to get that deal with the devil to work for us. Get some damage, maybe even some survivability, to be honest, and then be in a good spot. I'm not suggesting you've reached the level of food wokeness I have that is actually deleterious to my life. I'm just saying, come on, eat the crust of the pizza. I'll tell you right off the bat. First, that was none of my business. But when I saw a bunch of people my age were not eating the crust of their pizza, I was like, what's happening? Like, am I being pranked right now? But I'll tell you, here's my rule, okay? If you don't eat the crust of the pizza, that's fine. But if you end up taking more slices of pizza because you're not eating the crust and it's a shared food environment, in my opinion, that's a little bit of a faux pas. Because in order to get full as a result of you not eating the crust, maybe you gotta eat 3 pieces instead of 2 pieces. If everybody's pitching in equal for the pizza, look, I'm not gonna be the one who throws the first stone, but I'm just saying, it's not like other people could eat your crust. That's food that other people have put in their mouths. It's not like, look, if nobody was looking, sure, I might probably do it, but I'm just saying, it is probably unsanitary. And if not unsanitary, a little bit gross. But who is to say that because of your pickiness, you get a better slice of the pizza math than me? You know, I think that they're taking advantage of the pizza economy. That's just my 2 cents on the subject. So I do need HP. Here's the thing. Why would you do this instead of potentially sucking up 2 items? Because we're actually only sucking up 1 item, and then Monstro's Lung is... Or sorry, Monstro's Tooth. Monstro's Lung would be sick. Monstro's Lung is who cares. We're not getting... You know, the value we're getting out of sucking up Monstro's Lung is very, very low. So I think in that case, we were basically like, do we want a non-health stat upgrade or do we want a health stat upgrade? So we took health. And it was... I gotta admit, on first blush, you would look at that situation and say, I mean, come on, you got the chance to spacebar 2 items? That's double the efficacy of it normally. But when you think about it critically, I think we made the decision most likely to lead to our success in the future there. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that rigorous analysis? Okay, don't kill him yet. Kill him when he's rotated like that. That way you got the... That was a good play. That was a good play. Now, the item, not very good. Unfortunately. Not for us, at least. Nor is this really, but, I mean, at this point, you could probably justify sucking it up, at least. It's not bad. But statistically, we're in a little bit of a wonky spot right now. On Dank Depths 1. Slow, but we were really slow leaving the first 2 floors, so it's not really a surprise. But again, I know I talked about it even, you know, a couple episodes ago. I'm not gonna be the guy who tells my dad to get over his mayonnaise stuff. You know? If he doesn't like mayonnaise, he doesn't like mayonnaise. You know, he's a 55-year-old man. He has earned the right, you know, he's raised me, and I'm pretty much perfect. So, if he was able to accomplish that, and he wants to not eat mayonnaise, that's his prerogative as far as I'm concerned. We will try this. I think we need some leverage in order to be confident here, so it is a little spooky. Hold on, let me check and see. Sinvicta might be messaging me about GeoGuessr. He is indeed. I will let you... I'm not late. This is 18 minutes early. I will let you know when I'm done this Isaac and good to go. I know I'm belaboring the point, okay? That's kind of what I do in this series. And by the way, if you're watching this, I'm sure there's at least hundreds of people watching this. that eat the pizza but don't eat the crust. You don't need to provide any more justification to me than I don't like it. I will believe you on face value, but I want to look in your eyes when you say it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to come up with a logical reason as to why you don't like it, but I do want you to consider the fact that it might be a psychological thing, okay? Just consider it, and if maybe the next time you have pizza, you decide to bite down on that crust, I promise you, you're not going to be like, it's like ashes in my mouth. Just dip it in some ranch dressing, dude. You'll be fine. But, like, if you don't like a certain vegetable, you know? Like, if you're one of those people who's like, I don't like cilantro, and then thus 5 years ago became one of those people that was like, I have the gene that makes it so I don't like cilantro, that's fine. You know? We can order a pizza without cilantro. But you can't order like a crustless pizza. I know that at one point Pizza Hut did have that, but market conditions have changed. They no longer offer the edge. If I could get a pizza where the toppings... Oh, that's real nice. If I could get a pizza where the toppings and sauce go all the way to the edge, would I take it? Yeah. I mean, reliably, it doesn't really bother me that much. I haven't lent it that much thought. But yeah, sure, you know, why not? Why wouldn't you? You know? Nobody's favorite part of the pizza is the crust. I think. Well, I mean, probably somebody's is, but you know, not a statistically significant part of the population is really what I'm trying to say. I'm sure. I'm guessing. Plus, when you take the crust out of the equation, you're missing out on all sorts of goodness. If there's no crust, how is the crust supposed to be stuffed? What are you gonna do with your dipping sauces? Do you dip your pizza in the dipping sauce? Even if there's sauce and toppings on it? I think that's chaotic. I'm not saying it's not, you know, doable. I'm just saying I would not dip, like the corner of my pizza with, you know, cheese and pepperoni on it into the sauce. I mean, we get pizza that has kind of like, sometimes it has loose ingredients on top of it. I know that sounds strange. We'll get like a pizza that's a little bit like a salad. You know, it's got like shredded iceberg lettuce and, you know, shredded but only half melted cheddar cheese and like cherry tomatoes and stuff like that. And then if you were to dip that in the sauce would pull like you know, in Lord of the Rings when they're walking through like the land of the dead. The Pelennor, it would, you know, it would pull the toppings into the sauce and thus compromise the sauce integrity to some extent. I do not think Papa John's is very good pizza, for the record. But I will say, they have one of the most audacious and delicious dipping sauces I've ever had at a pizza establishment. If you've never eaten Papa John's, their go-to dipping sauce is called butter sauce. It's literally just melted butter and garlic powder. And it's like... For me, it has led to, and I haven't had Papa John's probably in 5 years, but it has led to situations where I've questioned what happened in my life to lead me to eating an already unhealthy food and then dipping the slightly most healthy part of it, even though it's literally just bread, into melted butter. But then you take the first bite and you're like, oh, it is pretty good though. I'll give you that. I remember I was at... My whole world changed when I was in like 8th grade. It might have been 7th grade. A new kid came to our school. And his father, unbeknownst to us, was unbelievably wealthy by local standards. You know? We, again, I had no idea, but he was definitely, he was involved in tech to some capacity, and was certainly borderline millionaire status in the year 2000, if not over, and perhaps even like multi-millionaire. We went over to his house for his birthday party. He had an indoor pool, just to give you some kind of idea. You know, an outdoor pool, there's different standards, right? Like an above ground pool outside. You're like, that's attainable for the average family. an outdoor pool that's in-ground, okay, now you're like Mr. Fancy Pants. Not really a wise investment in Canada, but like, you know, you're doing very well for yourself probably, or this was a terrible decision on your part. Indoor, like a heated pool in Canada is like, come on. How much? Let me see your tax returns. Anyway, after swimming in his indoor pool for his birthday party, of course there was a slide. Of course there was a diving board. Of course it was warm. We played, you know, a little foosball and ping pong up in his arcade. And then, by the way, the kid was not me, in case you think this is some kind of story of that regard. I have no idea how that worked right there. His parents were like, we're gonna order some pizzas. What kind of dipping sauces you guys want? This is the year 2000 in relatively rural Canada. I had never experienced a dipping sauce before. I was like, I don't know. They got a few dipping sauces. I was dipping the crust into it. It changed my life. In terms of pizza technology, the dipping sauce surely has to be up there with the insulated bag. It's revolutionized the industry. I think. Suck it up. Okay. Our stats are in a very, very good position now. Our HP is not, and we're not going to get more here. But everything else is absolutely fine. We do have to be just the slightest bit cautious. Were you greed? You were greed. And then the nickel, you had the bomb. So, you know, at this point, there's not much incentive. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know we just did 20 minutes on pizza. It could be worse. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody out there. You could be the friend in every friend group that doesn't like pizza. Pizza is probably the most likable food on planet Earth. Well, okay, that was not smart. What do you think is the most liked food? The food that the most people have no aversion to? I know, like, there's obvious and like potatoes, but like, you know, in terms of like a fully realized item / meal, pizza's gotta be close to the top. It's gotta be up there. And yet, and I don't disbelieve them. There's always, there's like one person out of every 20 people that is like, I don't like pizza. It's, I've got to say, I pity those people, and many of you are probably watching this right now. Not because they're missing out on the deliciousness of pizza, because it is what it is. You like what you like, and you don't like what you don't like. But it must be uncomfortable to always be the bad guy. In every situation. Hey, we're working late tonight. You guys just want to order some pizzas and stay in? Yeah. Well, could you choose a pizzeria that also offers other hot items? You know, who wants to... You don't want to be the stick in the mud in every situation. That's no fun for anybody. I pity that person. To always have to be the... It's like being, you know, the only vegetarian. You know, and everybody's like, we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings. And you're like, well, I'll have the green buffalo kickin' salad, please. I guess, you know, you just learn to live with it. I'm still concerned about our HP. We beat the odds and got the deal, which is very nice. We got back to full HP. We didn't get a Tears upgrade. I should have considered that. I can't. I want to. I really do on that one. I just cannot. I wish it were different. But it ain't. Probably the best thing for us now would be like the ability to fly. I think defensively plus with Sack Dagger, that would give us a lot of gas. I've thought a lot about, like, how do you... Like, I think it's always easy to parent a child if you don't have one, right? So, you know... My opinion on picky eating very much does come down to, like, well, if I had a child, I would simply not allow them to be a picky eater. But I'm sure, you know, it's easy when the kid hasn't been crying in your face for, like, you know, 2 hours about, oh, I don't like carrots! And then you're like, I just want to get some sleep and have, like, some peace and quiet, you know? It's very easy if you're not in that situation. I'm sure you're like, oh, I would just have infinite strength and resolve. I would merely use my will to outlast the will of the child. Sometimes you're probably like, whatever, dude, here's some freaking chicken nuggets, right? But I do feel like, as someone who was a picky eater growing up, it turned out just fine for me. But I don't, when I look back, I'm like, I don't see a reason for my picky eating. I feel like part of it was enabled by my parents. I feel like they trusted me too much as a child, and a child doesn't know anything. It's hard for me to go back and be like, you know, yes, I understand, oh, but as you get older, you get less bitter receptors on your tongue. So foods that maybe previously you did not like, you might like more as an adult. But I feel like that's information that people use recklessly. You know? I believe that that's true. Adults tend to like, you know, bitter foods much more than children do, for sure. But at the same time, I'd be like, yeah, maybe that's true, Tommy. But at the same time, eat your Brussels sprouts. They're delicious, you know? Can't you just do that? Like, I feel like I got away with sometimes being like, I don't like this. My parents are like, well, he's got to eat. So they would just make me, you know, whatever I wanted. Could have worked on a more refined palate at a young age. Not necessarily a high priority, I will admit, but... Until I was in college, I only ate like 3 vegetables. I ate potatoes in any capacity. I ate carrots. I ate corn. That's it. Like, any other vegetable, I was like, ooh, no. I don't think that I consciously ate like a leafy green vegetable of my own volition until I was in my like late teenage years, which is just horrible. Nowadays, I eat them like all the time. I look forward to going out, you know, to eat because I'm like, oh, I can get like a sick salad. I could make like some, you know, junk food at home, but you know, these salads are delicious. I think I got away with too much. That's not true. I did eat cucumber as well. But, you know, they're easy vegetables to like. Okay, we only have a 9% chance of a deal with the devil. If you play your cards right, even with using the orbital a lot, that should stay pretty close to the same. Yeah, that worked out. No deal. That's fine. It's gotta be good on my end, too, or no freaking deal. Still got Gus Fring's previous movie roles open here. Hold on, I was just looking at... Giancarlo Esposito's filmography. Dude, can I tell you? I've grown to dislike the wintertime a lot. It's 3:30 p.m. Let me crack the blinds here a little. It's 3:30 p.m. It's like, it's not dark outside, but it's dimming. Could probably, you know, learn a lesson here about complaining things that are like outside, complaining about things, I should say, that are outside of the realm of your control. But it's like there's a psychological aspect there, right? By the way, yes, that was a subtle flex that my office has a window now. I suppose. Wow, be careful. You're okay. You're okay. Maybe it was good to take the regen, even though we didn't want it in the moment. Oh, my Atlanta. This room. See ya. You know, in the summertime, when the weather is hot. Sorry, it's just legally you have to say that anytime say in the summertime. The 3-word phrase in the summertime. You got living on your mind. Only he doesn't say living, I think. Anyway, dude, 5 luck is going to serve us real well on the chest. You know, I finish work, it might be like 8. I look outside, the sun is just starting to set. That was almost an incredible dodge. I'm a very happy man. I feel like there's, you know, not my whole night's ahead of me, obviously, but like, you know, I could enjoy myself. Now, even if I finish work at like 6, it's pitch black outside, and my body is like, I don't know, dude, maybe just like go to sleep. Maybe tonight we'll just call it an early one. And you know, like I usually have a pretty good internal clock. It's one of the things I'm like weirdly proud of myself for. But like if you ask me what time it is, even if I haven't looked at a clock in like, you know, 3 hours, I'm like, I bet it's like 3:17. Then Kate's like, it's 3:22. And I'm like, see, pretty good, right? But in the wintertime, it gets all messed up. Because my brain, like right now, my brain is like, it's 7 p.m., brother. You gotta get some dinner. I'm drowsy. In reality, it's 3:30 p.m. Oh. No! Have I ever told you that I hate you? Where are you? Where are you? I froze. I froze. I should have been hit. Thank you for the HP, but I froze. I was not in a good spot there. We should really take some of these trinkets, dude. It's a spicy one. Oh, we gotta check. It's like, I don't think it's worth sucking up, but if we use Krampus's head offensively against some bosses, it will benefit us. I will level with you, like on an Isaac-related sense. I feel like we've made some lazy plays on this run, which is usually a good indication that today, like this should be the last Isaac run today. So I'm trying to dial it into high gear and just make sure that we finish strong here. You know, there's losing 2 Isaac runs in a day. You know, one of them was the keeper, so that's fine. But to lose this one as a Polyon with some pretty solid items, it would be a disappointment for sure. It would be batting under our expected weight class for sure, which is mixing metaphors. But you know, people, they're always like, you're not supposed to mix metaphors. Who says? Oh, Mr. English, the English rule maker. I think you should communicate in whatever way gets across the message that you want, you know? Language is already an arbitrary series of rules designed to, you know, I guess enable communication, but I don't think there's a right or wrong way with stuff like that. Who says a mixed metaphor is bad? You know, it was a very important moment for me in my life when I realized so many people, their idea of perfect use of language is exclusively dictated by like their 10th grade English teacher. How sad is that? You know, it's not... I feel like a lot of people, they love to follow the rules. They define themselves by their ability to follow the rules and their ability to notice people who aren't following the rules. And they point it out thinking they're being helpful. Like, yeah, I know I should have said Kate and I instead of Kate and me. Or me and Kate. But there's no... No, I shouldn't have. Because it doesn't matter. Moreover... I'm older than you. You think I haven't heard that rule 1,500 times and have willfully chosen to ignore it in this situation? Come on, are you crazy? I just walked over here. Don't be so anal about grammar. Or spelling, for that matter, as long as you know what they're saying. Like, let me tell you something, okay? I have a way with words. I talk good. And such. Sometimes, online, if I'm typing in a rush, I will use the wrong form of there, okay? I'm dumb. There's no faster way to lose an online argument than to use TE or the T-H-E-R-E instead of T-H-E-I-R. I'm a relatively smart individual, you know. I'm reasonably well-read. I think critically. I have a college degree. It's just, you know, Po Buddy's nerfing, dude. And people, when you use the wrong dare, they lose their freaking minds. They're like, what, you never learned this in school? I'm like, nah, dude, I learned it in school 100 times. I know exactly what each one's for. It just, you know, when I was writing it, it bypassed the critical thinking section of the old cerebrum. Okay, now you got me all riled up. Hole up here. That's a grab, dude. I can't believe I still got hit. I thought I had an easy path. Oh my god, this is the most blessed floor layout. It's so easy. Thank God. The game has really, on multiple occasions in this run, has hooked us up. When we didn't necessarily deserve it. We did deserve the luck upgrade, to be clear. I don't want the extra HP. I really want to hit him with this right off the cut. Then one of those. Okay, straight up. Thank you, Infamy. Great work. Okay, we made it. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!